When I first started Guild Wars, this was the character I played on the most. He's an Elementalist, a class that I haven't really looked at since. Therefore, for this playthrough, I'm going to be making a new Elementalist. We're going to start in Prophecies, as that's where a lot of the story actually begins. There's only 6 classes though, so we gotta be one of the original. We're going female, because I already have a male. This is the most iconic Elementalist hairstyle in the game, so we gotta go with it. We'll have black hair. I like the default, or I like this one. That looks, we'll go with this. And yeah, I'll stick with default skin color. You can choose it for short or tall, which is pretty fun. I'll set it to about normal. You know what, let's go short. Let's have some fun. I don't know how short this is in relation. I think that's actually pretty tall. Next up, we're going to be a name. I'm going to be Replete Quadrature, because we got to use the most characters. And let the game speak for itself.
The last day dawns on the kingdom of Ascalon. It arrives with no fanfare, no tolling of alarms. Those who will remember will speak fondly of the warm morning breeze. People carry on with their daily lives, unaware that in a short while, everything they have ever known will come to an end.
Scribe? Yes, my lord. These Char are relentless, but we shall hold the wall at all costs. Yes, my lord. Take this message to Sir Titus. Go forth and recruit the strongest, the smartest. Bring to me the bravest in all of Ascalon. Find me the heroes who will lead our kingdom to glory. As you command, my king.
Okay, now we're into the game proper. So right here, you'll see we're at Ascalon City. And yeah, let's go get this quest. So right here, we're looking for Sir Titus. I'm sure you could read, so I don't know why I'm saying that, but let's hide our cape. There we go. So I want this to be a bit of a fun playthrough, but also informative. So I want to go over everything, because I think it's important to document this game for when it's eventually taken offline. So right now, we're just getting some of the basic quests. So right here is our inventory. You can see we have our backpack, and we have our starter armor, which is really not very good at all. Their starter weapon. The cape I had is because I'm in a guild. If normally you would not start with one, but I'm fortunate enough to have one. So let's see, Howland, the Elementalist. We've got to go kill a scale and collect a scale. Look at that. Does he give you any skills? I don't think so. Let's see. Yeah. Nope. He just wants me to go kill it with an empty hotbar. So, I guess in the name of being informative, we could talk a little bit about what's going on. Right here's our party window. This is probably where I'm looking most of the time. That just shows the health of everyone. If you need to do anything. Right now it's just me, so that's my health pretty much. My health is also reflected here at the bottom of the screen. You could adjust this and move it around, but I use the default settings for the most part. Next to health is energy. We'll get to that once I actually get some skills to use. Up here you can see the health of what I'm fighting. There we go, we got our quest item. And, oh, look at that. It opened my inventory. I don't think that normally happens. So one thing I like about this game is you can press, I think it's Control or Alt, one or two. It's Alt to show all NPCs. Control will show all enemies, and it's a really easy way to navigate because one click and it auto paths for you. Um, so I guess we could talk a little bit about the UI. We got our compass. Oh, I got my first skills. Excellent. And there's my quest log, but here we go. Haversdan, fun name. Talk to the Vona in Ashford. Let's go do that. Right here is my level indicator. This shows the XP needed to level. Once you hit max level, there will be the XP needed for skill point. This right here is just the chat window. There's some interesting things. It kind of gives a rundown of what has happened. Up here is the compass. Guild Wars has the best compass in video game history. This little bubble around you shows the range enemies will aggro on you. Which just so happens to be about, well, here you can see, it turns yellow when you walk near someone. And that lets you know that they're kind of at risk. And you have them selected. And then on normal enemies, they'll start attacking you once they get in range. But these guys are passive as it's still the tutorial area. I'll show that off as soon as we leave, I suppose. But that bubble also is just about the range of my rod right now, so it really helps out. This is the mission map. You'll see me pop this up a ton. There's a lot of different ways people have this set up, but it's completely resizable and movable. But it pretty much shows overview of the zone and where we're going. You could also open the world map, and you can see just how big the world is. I really like how it fills in as you walk. It kind of rewards exploration in that sense. Oh boy. Let's see, what else? Oh yeah, the compass. I forgot the most important thing. You could click on it to ping, and you could also draw on it, which is next level. Like, why does the game from 2005 have this in modern games not? It's incredibly useful when you're in a team, which hopefully, over the course of this playthrough, I'll have some actual human players help me out. I'd like that quite a bit, because Prophecies is not the easiest game. Prophecies is the starting campaign, the one we're in now. So that would be good. So right here, go talk to Mirak the Scribe. Whoever at ArenaNet is in charge of coming up with names really enjoyed their job. And yeah, you'll see that throughout every game. I really like the environment design in this game. It's so good and really unique. And right here you can see there's just a sunflower placed here. A couple of them. Just give an ambience. And you know, that's done by hand. This is not being auto-generated. You'll notice that there's no sunflowers anywhere else. And that's one thing I think this game does so well, is making you feel like you're in a handcrafted world. And also making the world really pretty. I mean, this game is what, 15 years old, 16 years old, and it looks really good conceptually. Now, actually, I think this collector right here, collectors are a mechanic where if you kill enemies, they will drop kind of trash items, and you could bring them trash items. And right here I could get a flame artifact. It's not really worth doing, unfortunately, at this point in time. But later on, it probably will be. So, inside this playthrough, I am giving myself a self-imposed challenge. And that is, I could only use one type of magic in each campaign. So in Prophecies, we're starting with fire magic. You can see it labels fire magic right there. In Factions, we're going to be doing air magic. In Nightfall, earth. And Eye of the North, water. And I'm really looking forward to some of these later ones, as I've never really played with those builds. So one thing that I adore about this game is the map. I already said I like how it unveils. But the best feature of this game is you can click on any city and hit travel, and you instantly teleport back. It's so convenient. I wish every game had that luxury. And you know, a lot of modern games don't do this. They have stupid stuff we gotta run or auto path. This game really respects your time. It doesn't really waste any time with nonsense, like have forced backtracking. So yeah, let's see. Which profession are you interested in? Okay, is this giving me quests? Let's see. Nope. Okay, let's see. I've done Prophecies the least, so I've got to figure out how to do this. Pre-searing is not my place. There's some people here. Oh, that's a fun name, Kimberly. I like it. There's some people here who stay in this zone forever. And I'm trying to see if we've got one. Doesn't look like it. We got some people close, but right here, Count Blackmane the Sixth. Now that's a great name. Look, he's got a top hat. Oh, perfect. He's level 20. That's the maximum level. And to do it inside the starting zone is a endeavor that takes days, months even. At least with the old version of the strategy. So let's see. Let's go talk to the new Elementalist trainer, who has got the best armor in the game that's not usable by players. So one thing this game does that's fantastic. There's a lot of things this game does that's fantastic, but I'm going to start here. So we got a shield, and in most games, if you're a wizard, which is what the Elementalist is, if you couldn't tell by my fireball, we've got a shield. In most games, the wizard can't use a shield, or there is a penalty. But in Guild Wars, you can. There's no downside, and in fact, it reduces it reduces damage quite a bit. This gives 4 plus 5 armor, and my starting armor has 5 armor, so this is more than doubled our armor. I could talk more about armor, but I think I'm going to save that for a later video. But let's fight some things, and I'll show off skills. So skills are great. You can see my normal attack is not doing very much damage. My skill, on the other hand, does a lot of damage. 20 versus 5. So, skills have a cost associated with them. Every skill... Well, that's not true, but every Elementalist skill does. Right here you can see it, the blue dot is your energy, which is this bar right here. This costs 5. And as you can see, whenever you cast it, it sucks that down. The time, or the clock icon is casting time. And then on this one, the little arrow that spins around is the recharge time. So I'm going to be going through a lot of skills. I'm planning on showing off a lot of builds. I've actually had some fun theory crafting things for this series already. So expect a lot of fun build talk. But I will be going through skills quickly, so I think it's important to explain these basic numbers and icons. Now every skill in this game is categorized, except for a couple that are just skills, but you know, there's a bunch of categories of skills, and as an Elementalist, a spellcaster, we're going to have a lot of spells. And this right here is just a normal spell casted on an enemy. It'll say if overcast, it strikes adjacent. That's a mechanic we'll get into later. This is an enchantment spell. That means if I cast it, you'll see it up here. I have these set up here. Some people like to put them closer, but this is the default location. This stays on and has a passive effect. And this one in particular heals me whenever I cast spells, which is quite useful. Let's see. Opposition to the king. Oh me, oh my. There's royalists. Jeez. Tithe for Ashford Abbey. Go to Grasden. Oh, from his man Grasden. Jeez. Again, the person who worked on names for ArenaNet had a really, really fun time. But right now we want to talk to the Elementalist trainer. So you'll notice that there's some different colors. Green right here means ally. Yellow is a signpost. And you can see light green actually, is ally. This guy is green. Why? He's a pet. I guess they were dark green. You can tell I know what I'm talking about. Really builds credibility with the audience. Oftentimes I like just to zoom in and take in the environment from first person. It makes it really immersive. And you can see, man, this game looks really, really pretty. It's in 2005. It's way ahead of its time in terms of art assets. Just don't look at character models too closely, although I do think they look a lot better than games that came later. I would say the art holds up incredibly well for a game from 2005. Like, you think of Oblivion's character models, and they're just a nightmare. In this game, they look pretty good. Wow, those guys are worth 100 XP a piece. That is quite crazy. XP in this game depends on your level, because I'm level 1 and they're level 1. I guess it's 100? I don't think that's right. But fighting higher level enemies gives you higher XP. And if you're too high level, you won't get any. Which makes hitting max level in this area quite difficult. So right here is the skills menu. This is a big explanation of game mechanics. But there's a lot of skills in this game. There's over 140 Elementalist skills to choose from. And we have able to add to our profession to pretty much double that. Plus, there's PvE only skills, so at the end of the day, you got about 300 to choose from, and only 8 spaces on your skill bar. So you really gotta choose carefully. Ooh, that's actually a good drop. So, the way how they have, 300 skills and not have it be completely overwhelming is all skills are governed by an attribute. So right here you'll see Flare is listed under Fire Magic, and Aura of Restoration is listed under Energy Storage. Now, in an explorable area, I could only add points, so I'm going to add a couple points and get level 2 Fire Magic, and level 1 Energy Storage. And now you'll see Flare, before it was hitting for 20, now it hits for 26, which is quite a bit better. Who's a collector? Let's see. Ooh, if I get one more Icy Lodestone, I could get a pair of gloves. Is Crichton Armor the same one I have on now? Not certain. Oh. So while we're fighting Ice Elementals right here, it looks like I'm hitting higher, and that might be because of Fire versus Ice. At this early on in the game, that's kind of a thing. And it's kind of a thing throughout the game, but it's not really a big part of the game. Like, elemental weaknesses are not the primary reason why you build skill bars certain ways. So in fact, it's better to focus on one attribute than it is to split across all 4 of them by quite a bit. Although there is some ways to do it that can be pretty effective that hopefully I'll be able to show off. Is there anything else in skills I want to talk about? I don't believe so at this moment. So right here we got this blue drop, a tribal blade. Now light blue drops are pretty much some of my favorites, but not on weapons. On our salvage items. However, light blue basically means there's one mod on it, and it's not perfect. Let's see, it does 4 to 6 damage, which is the same as this fire wand, which I should probably switch to. You can see that the wands change skins, and a big part of this game, and like the end game, is collecting weapon skins, which is really fun, and because they're the reward for difficult content, and I'm really looking forward to get to that content. Oh boy, you can see the time of day I'm playing this. No comment. So right here is Elementalist Azure. I don't know how you say it, but she's got this great costume, and unfortunately, you could never get that, and that's a tragedy. So let's see. She's gonna give me 2 more skills. So we had Flare, which is a basic damage skill. We had Aura of Restoration, which heals us. Here we're getting Firestorm, which is our first AoE attack, which is kind of Elementalist bread and butter. And you can see right here in this quest, it does great things. Now they're coming again. We also got a Glyph. Now glyphs are actually a skill type unique to Elementalists. This one's really good. You reduce the cost of your spells, which adds up pretty quickly. So right here is pretty much, hey, target it, they all die. It's a tutorial. We're getting good XP from this. In fact, there's quite a bit of these guys. Yeah, it does look like these guys take double damage from fire. That's not something you should expect in this game. A lot of enemies have the same defense to all elements. So right here we got another unidentified. I'll explain how to identify them later, but I think that's a bit beyond the scope of this video. And yeah, so there we go. We just completed the Elementalist experiment. Now there's a bunch of these secondary profession quests, and each one gives us a skill, or it gives us some skills, which might be worth doing. I'm gonna debate it. I think I'm gonna go get those gloves. I got enough icy lodestones, and I'm gonna just talk about this series for a bit. So I'm gonna be honest, I've been meaning to do this for a while, but man, recording myself is not great. Live commentary, which surprise, surprise, this is what this is not easy to do. In fact, I'm finding it quite difficult. So I'd be interested to hear any comments as to whether live commentary or post commentary would be preferable. Also, editing this video right here is kind of unedited and messy, and I'm not certain if that's the best way to make a series, especially in Prophecies, which is extremely long missions. So I think in the future I'll be editing these down. Let me know if you guys like the informative angle, because, I could be here, just reacting to what's on screen, and in a sense I'm kind of doing that. Like, you probably knew, hey, this is the enemy's health bar, I don't need to say that, but at the same time, I do want to point out the work that's done, and, this is just the first episode, and I think a lot of people who play games and just react to the content add no value, and I want to, respect your time, right? I don't want to do things that are unnecessary or add, why would you watch this video if I'm not, putting that informative spin on it? And that's the question I'm grappling with. I kind of forgot about the challenger aspect of this run, so I might want to hype that up a little bit more in the next episode, because that's kind of like, oh yeah, it sets me apart. So yeah, if you guys have any thoughts on this video, leave them down below. I'm sure a lot of people will enjoy this rambling. I'd like to make this more focused eventually, but videos are not easy. And also, let's ignore the fact that I got lost. You can see right here that the mission map puts these great red dots. The main map does too, but zones will get bigger than this. This is really tiny. Let's see, using that alt trick, you can just click on him, and now look, I don't have to do anything. And we're coming up on 25 minutes. I think that's a great length for a first episode. Let me know on video length, anything, if one person can dictate this entire series right now, because I'm talking to nobody, right? Like, I'm lucky if this gets 20 views, so if you give me some feedback, it'll be taken to heart, I assure you. But right now, the only thing I'm taking to heart, or savich, is these gloves. Oh, they're a different skin, and they're not dyed. Uh-oh. I'm actually going to stick with the red gloves because they're red, and that way I have consistent armor color, which is way more important to me than the +2 armor. Oh, well, that's going to be it for today. Yeah. Have a great day, guys.